Welcome back, everyone, to Parks Racing for Let's Go Racing. It's time for our special feature segment. And Dick, of course, Let'sGoRacingParks.com, those tremendous stories that our Eclipse Award winner has been writing. Well, Dick, I've been around the track for 32 years. I don't know a whole lot about equine dentistry. But do you put your hands in it? There's a big teeth. Do you put your hands in it? What do you do?
Well,
what do you do?
We're going to find out from Scott Gager, who's one of the equine dentists who works here on the backstretch. And Scott is not only an equine dentist, and by all accounts, they have a thing that keeps their mouths open, so it's hard to get chomped down on, and long instruments that go in there. But we'll get into all of that. In addition to being a dentist, Scott is also a country western singer. He imitates other country western singers like legends, and he's a fun guy.
And he's back there on our backstretch. Here's four with Scott Gager.
Here with equine dentist Scott Gager. Scott, how long have you been doing this work?
I started, believe it or not, 40 years ago with my father, Ed Gager, when this place was called Keystone Racetrack, and so 40 years.
So what do equine dentists do? I know what it sounds like you do. What do you actually do?
Well, actually what we do is we actually float the teeth, which is what we actually call filing the teeth. So we take the rough edges out of a horse's mouth. We take caps out. We take wolf teeth out. And basically, it's the equivalent almost of a blacksmith in a horse's mouth. What we're doing, we're filing all the edges down, making sure everything's smooth because they have the bit contact with a horse. So we want them to not be able to throw their heads, lug in, lug out, and all that. And it's a very important, thing that's the trainers around here do.
And Scott, how long do they need between times when they go?
It depends on their age. 2-year-olds need to be done more frequently, probably 3 to 4 times a year. As they turn 3, probably 3 times a year. Once they get past the age of 4, a couple times a year is all they really need to be done. And that's with race horses. Pleasure horses, once a year is fine for them.
So if somebody hears equine dentist, they're thinking of a human dentist who puts his hands in the human's mouth. I'm thinking you probably don't do that.
I absolutely do. Believe it or not, I do.
Explain how it works.
I do. I can actually use my hand as a speculum. Okay. So I put it in between the bars of a horse's mouth, and I can actually reach every tooth in the horse's mouth with my hands.
Over the years, Scott, obviously this has all changed. You've been here for 40 years.
Correct.
In recent years, since the slot machines came in, the purses have gone up. What have you seen of positive
I remember
changes
sitting
here?
in Bobby K-Mac's office when this all happened. What I've seen with Pennsylvania is just the breeding program has just exploded. And I mean, you're getting a nice bonus for being, having a PA bred racehorse. I mean, and I work on, everybody wants PA breds.
Sure.
I mean, and I really think that they are really climbing up the ladder, contending with these other states now. I mean, I think the stats show that.
Scott, not only do you do this, you have I don't know whether you would call it a moonlighting job or what you would call it.
It's more than that anymore.
So tell us about the man of 100 voices.
Yeah, so in it was New Year's Eve of 2011, my wife coaxed me to get up in front of a group that was all doing karaoke. And she said, when the radio comes on, you sound just like James Taylor. So I'm like, well, I'm not getting up there, so forget about it. So she kept, these people are terrible, just do it. So I got up there and I started singing a James Taylor song, Caroline in My Mind, and within a few seconds, everybody's cell phone was out. And so I didn't really think anything more, and nobody even said anything to me. And about a month later, it was posted, and people were on there going, well, how did you do that? And it sounds like James Taylor. So I said, well, maybe I can make some extra money being James Taylor. Within a few weeks, I realized I could do several voices that I just messed around on YouTube. So I'm up to almost 200 voices that I can impersonate, singing voices, and a lot of speaking voices. I can just completely alter my voice and change it.
So let's hear a couple of your favorites.
James Taylor.
There we go.
So James Taylor will be, in my mind I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And then I can just switch it up to Randy Travis, which would be, you may think that I'm talking foolish. So, and there's just a range of, you're just too good to be true. So I have 7 octaves in my voice. So Elvis, well, I wish I was in Dixie, away, away in Dixieland's where I stand. So I can just be anybody I really want to be on stage, from Johnny to Johnny Cash. Well, I woke up Sunday morning. So I can just switch my vocals anywhere I want to be in voices. So And then we did the song 4 years ago, fellow horse dentist Paul Bricione. We get the footage of that thing, and I say, wow, this is gold. It's him, you know, getting mauled by a horse here, and I wrote a song to it. It took me like 10 minutes to write it, and that thing goes viral about every 6 or 8 months. It just takes off, you know, that horse bit me.
Come at me like a thief in the night. Camera caught it all, made a fool out of me.
I think he's got to be a pretty unique guy. How many guys are equine dentists and country singers all wrapped up into one?
I think there might be one. I think there might be one. I think we just saw.
Okay, yeah. And of course, your story, letsgoracingparks.com. Lots of, not just your stories, but lots of great stuff on the website.
You're on there, man.
Well,
giving out winners.
We'll get to that in just a minute.